Native to East Africa, the giant African land snail, also known by its scientific name Achatina fulica, is more than just a garden dweller. It's a notorious invasive pest, threatening global agriculture by devouring over 500 different plant species, ranging from essential crops like soybean to tropical fruits like papaya. It is considered one of the most destructive snail pests in the tropics and subtropics. Well, indeed, Achatina is even among the world's 100 worst invasive alien species on the ISSG list. But how the heck is that dangerous? Let's dive in. Achatina fulica is an obligate outcrossing hermaphrodite. This means it possesses both male and female reproductive organs, but it must mate with another individual to produce offspring. It cannot self-fertilize. However, all it takes is one already fertilized snail to establish an entire population. They mature at around 5 to 15 months, depending on the temperature. Once they start, they don't stop. A snail can lay 100 eggs in its first year, and that number jumps to 500 in its second year. Over a 5-year lifespan, a single snail can produce up to 1,000 eggs. These eggs hatch in anything from a few hours to 17 days. Achatina fulica is primarily a herbivore, feeding on both living and decaying plant matter. It has a remarkably broad range of host plants, and the most significant impact it has is agricultural. In tropical agriculture, the cost of this invasion is fourfold. First, there is the direct loss of crop yield caused by herbivory. These snails are voracious eaters. Secondly, they spread plant pathogens. In Ghana, for example, Achatina fulica distributes spores of Phytophthora palmivora through its feces. This is the cause of black pod disease in cacao, and the umycete also infects black pepper, coconut, papaya, and vanilla. They can even spread pathogens to aubergines and tangerines. Thirdly, there is the massive cost associated with pest control and management. A variety of methods have been used to fight the invasion. Physical control involves the manual collection and destruction of snails and their eggs. Chemical control has seen the use of metaldehyde or calcium arsenate in early management attempts. Biological control has also been tried, most notably with the introduction of the predatory rosy wolf snail. However, this often backfired, as the predator began preying on rare, native snail species instead of its intended target. This turned one ecological disaster into another. And finally, there are the lost opportunities. Farmers are often forced to change their agricultural practices, limiting their crops to only those resistant to snail infestation. It's not just about one bad harvest, it's about a long-term shift in the local environment. By spreading pathogens and altering soil chemistry, these snails can make the land effectively toxic for some traditional crops for years to come. It has become a widespread pest in several regions of the world, being found in countries such as Thailand, China, Australia, and Japan, in addition to the American continent. So, how does this snail spread across the globe? Achatina is a master hitchhiker. It is frequently transported through trade routes, hidden in agricultural products, heavy equipment, cargo, and even within soil and plant matter. But humans have also spread it intentionally. Because of its massive size, it has been introduced to many new locations as a novelty pet. It also holds economic importance in some regions as a source of protein and medicinal compounds. Unfortunately, keeping these snails as pets often leads to trouble. Invasion can happen simply by discarding old tank soil. Because these snails bury their eggs deep, owners often unknowingly dump hundreds of viable eggs into their backyards or local environment. Whether through these accidental escapes or intentional releases, a potential resource quickly turns into an uncontrollable invasion. Subscribe to join us in the Wild Lab, and make sure you don't miss our next deep dive into the mysteries of the natural world.